coming. We brought a pair of juniors to wear number 1, running back Darius Archer, cornerback Darius Polk. Coach Hazell will start with an opening statement.
Well, we've had some time off to get ready for this one. This is a big game for this program. They're a very good football team. Spent the morning really studying their offense. I've studied their defense and special teams the previous couple of days, but their offense is extremely explosive. They got a great quarterback. Very precise with his throws, and gets it out of his hands very fast. Very confident. They got a big running back that pushes the pile backwards. So we have a formidable task at hand on Saturdays, but we're looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great matchup.
Looking for the experts to ask their questions.
Jay, how big was, after the loss to Kentucky, it was the first conference game, how big was this victory, not only for this season, for the rest of the season, but to just get started well in conference play?
Yeah, it was real big, speaking, because it was a conference play. You know, we wanted to get started off the right foot in the conference game, so we came out strong against Buffalo because we know we had to get started off the right foot.
Did you find, when you were preparing for the Bulls, some places you can exploit them in the running game?
I mean, yeah, coming into the game, we know we wanted to get at least 250 yards rushing between all the running backs and quarterbacks. So, we knew we could find holes and gash them.
Darius, tell us about the 3. You got your hands on 3 balls. Just kind of walk us through that.
The first one, I jumped a quick slant. I didn't even know the quarterback was throwing. I looked right at him, and I was surprised when he threw it, and I just dropped it. And the second one was a deep ball, and I just tried to catch it like a punt, and I just dropped it, went through my hands again. Then the third one, I went up, and I grabbed it, and I came down with it, and I fell in the end zone. And then the fourth one that I caught in the fourth quarter was like, he had it bobbled, and I just took it from him. So it was a good game though.
You're on the jugs machine now?
Yeah, it's so funny. I dropped one at practice yesterday, so.
Darius, how much did they change their offense after Oliver left the game? It seemed like they went to a different tact after he came out of the game with the injury.
Oh yeah, they definitely did. They definitely started looking for number 19 more, which is a great receiver, and they started sending number 21 in motion and try to get him the ball off fly sweeps and stuff like that. But our defense responded, and we just kept fighting.
Talk about just how this has come to this point for you. Your 3 years here, and just seems like you've been on the edge of some of this for a while, and now the opportunities there.
Yeah, it's been an up and down road for me, battling injuries and for the past 3 years. But I'm just blessed for this opportunity. I'm glad for the great coaching staff to be here, and it's been a long road for me. But I'm just blessed to be in this position that I am today. So I take full advantage of it.
Which injuries have you?
Broken collarbone, dislocated toe, just knick-knack injuries like last year my knee. But I'm healthy, and I hope I just pray that I continue to stay healthy.
How about for you, Dre? You've had to play behind Eugene and Andre and Jacquees. Now you're getting your chance along with Dre. Could you talk about this opportunity? I know you played some during games, but now getting to start the kick returns to find play. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, it's been a long road for me. I was behind those upperclassmen, but I mean, I think that's what makes me who I am today, because they showed me the route. To be confident, to be prepared for whenever your time comes, and Coach Hazell gave me that shot. I'm just taking full advantage of it.
Did you guys get a sense of how big this game is, or is he trying to downplay this?
No, this is a big game for us, especially for our defense. Nobody really stopped their offense yet, so even Clemson and USF, so they're hyped up. They came off a big win, so we definitely have to come out and play. This is a very big game for us, especially any MAC game is big. We treat it like the MAC championship, so it's really big for us.
Darius, as you look at Edwards, how big is he on film? Does he break a lot of tackles? Does he have that speed? How do you guys look at him as you start preparing for Saturday?
Oh yeah, definitely. All the receivers are very explosive, very coachable. They run good routes, and we just gotta. It's all about us. We're just gonna play, do what we've been doing, cover them long enough to get a sack, and just be disciplined in secondary.
How many times has Coach showed Sneed's touchdown, that tightrope in that corner against USF?
It was a great catch. He's a great receiver, and we're definitely gonna be, playing for it and so forth. But we'll be ready though. He's a great receiver though. It was a great catch.
Coach, you said on the teleconference you've basically been giving each of your quarterbacks 1 day each. Is Colin in the mix here at all?
Not yet. Last night we practiced for 20 periods, and David Fisher took all the reps with the ones, and Spence took them with the twos. And then on Tuesday, Spence is going to take all the reps with the ones, and Fish will take all the reps with the twos. You'll see them both sometime on Saturday. Like I said before, they're different guys. They bring a little bit different to the table. But I look forward to seeing what they can do for us on Saturday.
Is that to say Weirden's completely out of it for this
No,
season?
no, it's still, to me, it's still too early. This is game 4, and these guys are both, in my opinion, competent guys to get the job done. I really feel comfortable. If I didn't feel comfortable with it, then I would say yes, Colin would be in the mix. But both of those guys are competent guys that can win football games for us.
Coach, I asked Darius, you said you looked at their offense. Talk to me, if you can, a comment about Lenning, their quarterback, and Edwards, their fine running back.
Well, both great players. I think the running back is, I'm not sure what his average is, but he's running for a lot of yards. He's very physical. He's pretty much a between the tackles type runner. Doesn't have great breakaway speed, but has enough speed to probably be a 30 or 40 yard back at this level. But as he carries the ball, you see guys going backwards. The quarterback I think he's what makes the offense go. He's really, really special. Just watching on his release, he takes something off of it, fires it when he has to fire. Just has a great presence about himself. Steps around in the pocket and makes all the great throws.
One of their games, and I think one of their games recently, they won it with a field goal. They have one of the best kickers in the league and shot. Can you talk about their special teams for a minute?
Their special teams is really good. I studied those guys on Friday for about 4 hours, and they are very comparable. I think the special teams are very comparable, ours and theirs. I think we're doing a good job on special teams, and so are they. But they did an excellent job getting the ball in that position to make that field goal against Indiana, if that's the one you're referring, with a second to go on the clock, through a corner route down the 25, 30-yard line to put themselves in position. But they do a great job. The punter is outstanding. He's knocked so many inside the 5-yard line. It's almost like he's using a 9-iron or a wedge.
Yes.
But he's doing an excellent job, and they cover kicks well. So it's going to be, like I said, I think these two teams are very, very similar in terms of execution right now.
When you talk about that, can you also talk about the progress? You and Coach Lembo came in last year. Seems both of you are on the uptick. Can you draw that comparison as well?
Well, he's doing a great job, absolutely. And I've had a chance to spend some time with him this summer down in Columbus at a football camp, and just listen to some of the ideas that he's got going down there. But he's a down-to-earth guy that believes in preparing, and that's what we're all about here as well.
And you mentioned with your running game and how Buffalo started loading up for you.
Yeah.
But you still rush for 200 yards. I mean,
Yes.
at what point do you pat your guys on the back instead of worrying about somebody else?
That's a great point, because when you're sitting after the game and you don't know what happened, you thought you'd get more big runs, and then someone relays the stats to you, and you don't realize he's rushed for 100, Trey's rushed for 100, but you go back and you watch the film and say, where did we go wrong? Well, I tell you what, the offensive line played well. I thought they played really well. I thought we were losing people up front, but that wasn't the case at all. It was the 8th and the 9th hat hitting us for a 4-yard gain and a 5-yard gain. But at some point in time, you're going to have to be able to throw the ball when they're playing match-up coverage on the outside, one-on-one coverage on the outside, to keep them honest.
I understand that, but I mean, just kind of like what you were saying. I mean, I went back and looked, and only once in the game did you get the ball to Trayon 3 straight times.
Is that right?
Well, all them meetings you guys got, and y'all didn't?
Nope. I'll make a note of that.
But it was first series of the game. You give it to him 3 straight times. Of course, you had a penalty that knocked out the first down. But that goes to what you're saying. Your offensive line is
Yeah,
really.
they played well. When I went back and watched the film, I thought that they did an unbelievable job with all those hats and all the identification issues that it presents when you bring the extra hats in the box. The communication was pretty good.
Do they get, bullish? I'm talking about the offensive line. Just, and say, hey, let's just keep doing what we're doing.
There was one point in time at the game on Wednesday night where we had it was a timeout, it was a long timeout, and we had a pass play called, and I was going over it with the offensive line, and they all looked at me like, let's run the ball on this play. So we did. We changed the call, and we ran the ball. Now we only got 2 yards on the play, but we ran it anyway. Yeah. But they feel confident. Right now, they are very confident in running the football. They are, which is great.
Is there a lot of chatter in the huddle about that? I mean, do you remember that when they were all saying, let's run the ball?
Yeah, especially every time we came to the sideline, all 5 guys just come to the bench. Just run the ball, they can't stop the run. They just kept telling coach over and over and over. At the end of the game, we realized they could not stop the run.
Is he a hard guy to convince?
I mean, sometimes, but he works with us.
Darius, after Kentucky, was there also a part of pride in the defense because you gave up so many yards, and also in the second half, the game got away from you? Was there, coming into the Buffalo game, a part of let's shut these people down, showed what Kent State has been defensively the last couple of years?
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. All week, Coach has been telling us play our defense. We definitely didn't play our defense, the Kent State defense that we know how to play at Kentucky, and we definitely showed up at Buffalo.
Coach, talk about your defense now. What is the same and what's different maybe from last year? As these guys, they got 3 games under their belt now. What are you seeing strength-wise and whatever in terms of what they're delivering for you?
Well, I think anytime you're in the second year of a program and the language is no longer new and guys understand where their help comes from and where their fits are, you're going to be that much better. So that's where I see schematically us getting better. Personnel-wise, we're shuttling 8 defensive linemen in there, which allows you to be good in the fourth quarter. So if we can continue to do that and not let the big play over our head, we're going to be pretty good.
You've lost 2 biggest thing on defensive line, I would think, the 2 nose tackles you've lost since last year. How much is, getting new guys in there, and what are they, speak to that. How are they doing? Are they much different from what you had?
Well, I thought Dana did a great job last week. Dana Brown getting him back. He had a shoulder early in the season. I asked him to give us 20 plays. He came back and gave us 32 plays in that big game against Buffalo. And he's got to continue to play well for us. But if we can keep those guys off of our backers and our safeties, those guys will make a lot of plays for us. And obviously, Rosie's as disruptive of a guy as there is in the conference. So we're getting good play out of those guys right now. We need to continue to get better.
Are you finding yourself having to play him more inside because of Rosie?
He's pretty much played the 3 technique unless it's passing situations, and then he gets on the edge.
Coach, are you going to come into this game pretty much healthy?
We'll find out about Tyshawn tomorrow. It's still a question. I think we'll get Richard. Richard didn't practice last night. Still has that quad strain a little bit. But by and large, I think other than that, we're in pretty good shape.
Coach, you made a big deal about winning on the road this year. The mindset, now that you've done that, how much or how important will it be to defend your home stadium?
Well, every single game is critically important. And I think the big thing on Saturday, because it's such an early game, that we got to get started fast. That's always hard. Everywhere I've been, you kind of come out there and you're not used to going at 12 o'clock or kicking the ball at 12:02 or 12:06, those guys better be ready to go. So it's very important to defend our home stadium.
How are you looking to generate a little more out of Dree late? Seems like a lot of his big hits and whatever, first, second quarter, and then as the game goes on, haven't really had the one or as big a plays as you've had early. Is it a question of defenses adjusting to him as the game goes on? I would think his speed really hits them the first time they see it, or is there something else there?
No, I probably more from a coaching standpoint of emphasis of making sure he does get his touches in the fourth quarter, especially if the game's in the balance, to make sure we devise some plays or maybe hold some plays until the fourth quarter so he can, when they're a little bit tired, more tired in the fourth quarter, and he still has a little bit in his tank to make sure he's getting the ball in the fourth. That's probably more coaching than anything else.
Talk about Durden. He came in and really gave you
Yeah, he's getting better each week. He's still struggling in some areas, pass protection and some other things, but he's really good with the ball in his hands. He's only going to get better. So he's a good third team back for us, really good third team back.
Can I ask one more thing about the quarterback thing? Are you okay if this 2 quarterback thing lasts for a while?
As long as we're doing well, I am, and winning.
But I mean, do you feel like you're almost throwing it open for the second time this season? You know what I mean?
Not really. I don't believe I am. I want someone to really step out and take it, though, and I'm not sure we've done that exactly yet. The way we're not getting the productivity that I thought we would be at this point in time, and I want one of those guys to step up and take it. But they're both capable of winning games. If that makes any sense.
Have you put your finger on? Are they having a confidence issues, or have you sort of? I mean,
I think, from Spencer's point of view, and to his credit, which you can't blame him, he's trying to be very careful with the ball. Sometimes when you're really careful with the ball, you don't always pull the trigger when you have to. So that's to his credit. And I think David's still just a learning in progress.
How do you think you handle the playing time of quarterbacks against Ball State, and is Spencer going to start?
I haven't made that decision yet, but neither one of those decisions on when we're going to put one guy in or the other guy in. But we'll see after practice tomorrow how practice goes.
I see you on your 2 deep. You got Strickland at your.
Yeah.
Where that's new?
That was new as of like 2 days ago. We moved Strickland down from a safety spot. Parker's injured. That was the other injury I was trying to think of. Andre Parker has got a sprained ankle, so we thought this would be a great time to move Devontae Strickland to Sam linebacker. He's worked there for a day and a half, so we're going to see how he gets into the fold. It could be a great addition for us if he can learn the defense from that standpoint.
So you got a sophomore and a redshirt freshman there?
Yep.
No upperclassmen there?
No, we're probably 75 to 80% nickel personnel, so it doesn't concern me as much.
What do you want to get out of Strickland out of that?
I want him to get dirty. I want him to get up there and get a little nasty as a Sam linebacker, get his face. The things that we saw him do on high school film, really start hitting people pretty good and make some plays for us as a Sam linebacker.
does he seem like thrown into the fire, that he's handling it?
Well, it's too early to tell, but he was excited about the move. I grabbed him after the team meeting the other day, and he was really fired up about it. So hopefully it lights a fire under him, and he can give us something as a Sam.
I hate to keep dwelling on the quarterback thing, but is it possible you won't make a decision? I mean, other than who's gonna start, but I mean, that you won't hash out in your mind how I'm gonna do this?
I would like to definitely go in telling those guys, okay, you're going to go in this series, you're going to go in this series,
Okay.
going into the game.
I think that's just the fairest thing.
I think it's easier for those guys, for both of them. For example, if Spence were the guy to start and he, for some reason, the ball doesn't move down the field, that series, I don't want him to think we're pulling him out because he's not doing well. So I want it to kind of be prescribed prior to.
Would it be more like last week?
Probably. You know, I think we went in last week saying that David was going to go in the third or the fourth series, and regardless of what's happening in the game at the time.
And then let the second half play out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How are the players reacted to the kind of up in the air quarterback situation?
I don't think it has any effect on those guys right now. They all have their own jobs to do, and they got their own concerns that they should be worrying about. I don't think they can put their arms around the quarterback situation.
Dree, maybe you could address it a little bit. You get a different handoff from those guys or a different pass from those guys?
No, we work so much with different quarterbacks in fall camp. You know, we work with all three guys. So I mean, they're all do the same reads, do the same checks. So it's no different from if Spencer's in to David's in, or even if Collins in. So it's all the same to me.
But I know some quarterbacks give you the ball and some quarterbacks want you to take it. Some quarterbacks throw a hard ball, some throw a softball. Do you see any of that?
No, there's no difference for me. There's no difference.
Do you dream though about what the offense could be like if you got big running game and the passing game that you want? I mean,
Yeah, we're always trying to get better. That's the number one goal, and absolutely, there's a vision on what we want it to look like when it's all said and done, and we'll keep working toward that goal.